welcome back. My name is Dave, and this is Macaro my N-Scale Layout. Today we are doing part 2 of the office and yard tower for my layout. This is a totally scratch-built building, and I'm going to take you through what I've done so far, and then I'm going to demonstrate what I've done on a smaller part of the building so that you can see how it works. So what we have here, and I'm going to switch to, I always have to look at my big monitor to figure it out. Oh, there we go. So here's the building now. This is upside down. And so what's happened is that using the magnetic system that I have, the building is all together in one piece. But I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Maybe you'll be able to see it with 6. Boom. Go 6. And let's zoom in. Okay. So, as you can see, the plastic on the ends extends further than the building does. And that's because I don't want to have to put something on the corners of the building to indicate that they're together. So what I did was, when I cut the laser pieces, I cut them the right size for the building. When I cut all the styrene pieces, I cut them longer than they need to be. So what I do then is take, he says as he looks around for one, I think it's over there. Hang on, folks. Once again, Dave forgets something. Okay, I've got it. So now what I do is I take a utility knife. Well, I was staring straight at it, for Pete's sake. Take a utility knife, and I'm just going to remove I got my glasses on. I can't see things up close with my glasses on. And then I just score the plastic multiple times. There we go. And see, it separates, and now I have a nice even corner. So then what I do is I take some sandpaper, or a sanding sponge in this case, and I just sand this down. I'm going to do the other corner here. And you got to be gentle the first time, a couple of times that you cut like this. Otherwise, you'll cut right into the building itself, and that's not what you want to do, because that would mean we would have to start all over again, and I don't really want to do that. It's taken long enough to get to this point. And one more score should do it. And there we go. Again, a little bit of sanding. And now, he says as he can't find what he's looking for. Oh, there you are. There you are, you silly thing. So now what I do is I take some Tamiya putty and put a little dab on there, and then run my finger down and fill in the holes, the little bits and pieces that are still showing. Let's do the same thing on this side. It's not a lot of putty, it's just enough to seal that little gap that's there. Oh, let me need a touch more. And now we put this aside, and this is one that's already done. This side's already done. So the building was built with some basswood bracing on the inside to keep the walls straight, not warped while it was being glued and painted together. And so I'm going to show you the process of putting this. Oops, I just touched the darn putty. I shouldn't be doing that. I should be more careful. Okay. How the chipboard gets covered with the styrene. So I'm just going to put this aside for now, because I'm going to leave that putty dry for a good long time to make sure it is dry before I take a sanding stick to it. So this is the tower for the building. And what we're going to do today is clad this thing with styrene so you can see the process. So what I usually do here, little tip, trick, gimmick, I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm going to take some Aleene's Tacky glue, and I've got a Post-it note pad here, and I'm going to put the glue on the Post-it note, and then I'm going to pick it up with a brush, and I'm just going to start painting on the glue. Now you want to make sure that you work in reasonably small sections, in which an end scale is pretty darn easy, and that you don't leave this brush out in the air. So when I go to put the styrene in place here, this brush is going to go back in the water. So back in the water it goes, and here's the styrene cut and primed on one side. And we're going to just gently put that in place. We're going to make sure stand it up like this and push it down so that I know that it's square against the building. There we go. All right, now let's do the other side. So again, we're going to grab the brush. We can get rid of the excess water on it. Grab the brush again, and now if you're into scratch building, I would say that no matter what scale, a laser cutter is a godsend. Since almost every building is just flat panels, the laser cutter will do most of the cutting you need it to do. The other thing that's nice about it is that it is repeatable. So when I was building the tower here, I wanted 3 windows across the front. And in Lightburn, there's an array function where you can just say, I want 3 of these, this size, so many of them. And it does it for you, which makes it very easy to work with. So again, I'm going to lift this up, and I'm going to push this together. Now I'm using Aleene's Tacky glue for one reason is that the darn stuff, as its name implies, is tacky. So now, let's do the front of the building. So here's the front of the building. And it is, again, just like the bigger structure, it is slightly bigger than it needs to be here. So now I'm going to take the glue again. Now, I think you might be able to see it, or see that or not, but see there's glue inside here where I really don't want it. It's going to affect the way my windows go in. It's going to mean I have to sand and do some cleanup in here. So what I'm just doing now is taking a toothpick and going around the windows openings and clearing any glue that I don't want. So now this front goes on. Line it up with the get it lined up right bang on. There we go. So now we have all of that done. So next, the 3 window. You know what? I should have thought about painting this. I've got a sheet of steel down on my work table, because the magnets, when I'm using the magnets, it helps keep things together. But I didn't realize it was gray, and I'm showing you gray, so it's a little difficult to see sometimes, I guess. So again, now this time I'm going to switch to a smaller brush. Get rid of the water on it. I highly recommend this Aleene Tacky glue. I could use, Elmer's glue or any other glue, I guess. But none of them have this instant tackiness that Aleene's has. And that makes it a really nice piece of, nice product to work with. So now, we're going to put the window on. Now the window I've actually cut bang on the size it needs to be. Alright. Get that. Where'd the brush go? Oh geez, I didn't put it away in the water. Well, we'll see what happens here. Again, I'm just putting down a thin layer. I've got a strip that's cut that fits right in this spot. And it too is cut pretty well dead on. And what I'm going to make sure of is that the top lines up straight and true. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, I'll put it back. I'm back in the camera here. Straight and true, so that's... And there's one more piece. Well, where are you? Is it this one? Or is it this one? That's odd. I had a piece that was cut right to the right dimensions, but those are the roof sections. That's a piece of chipboard. This. Well, we'll put this on and then we'll trim it. So, thought I was sure I had a piece cut for here, but I guess not. Okay. Come on, behave yourself, behave yourself. Okay, good. That's what I want. All right. I'm just going to reach over here. Clamp that in place. So we have the tower now clad in vinyl. Oh, sorry. Back. So let's grab some more Aleene's tacky glue. Oh, don't put up too much, Dave. You don't need much here. Now again, once this is set up, and now I've learned my lesson yesterday. I tried to do too much and the glue had not completely fully set, so I put part of the building in a clamp, and of course the whole darn thing came apart. So this goes there. So now we have the building. Oops, this has come off. Now there'll be some putty that goes on there, and there'll be putty that goes in these corners. Just have these little wonderful little colorful that's not helping. And it's just popping it loose in the side. We'll let it dry. So there's the tower. Now you'll notice I haven't done a roof yet, but the reason is, first off, just if I put the roofs on, I can't get the windows in. I can't do the glazing. Can't get the windows in, can't do the glazing. So the roofs have to stay off for a little while now. And there's going to probably be a whole video on how I do the roofs. But I do have the roof sections here, so we will get them glued onto these pieces of chipboard, and that will mean that everything has been clad with styrene. I've been printing out air conditioners for the roof. One antenna that's going to be on the building itself. I have some electrical transformers. Did I say air conditioners? I said air conditioner, I think. So there's one roof section. Now I found that in my old age I had to write on the back of each one of these pieces what they were. Because once I had them all cut out, I couldn't remember which ones went where. But when you take a pen and just write on it, says tower, back, roof, and all right. Now what's going to happen with the roofs is I'm going to take some styrene angle, and I'm going to trim all the roofs with the styrene angle, like that. Once the roofs are dry and set, what I do is I take a knife and I scrape so I'm back down to actual vinyl or styrene, because I want to make a chemical bond between the angled strip of styrene and the roof itself. And like I say, that'll probably be a video on its own, just so you can see how that's done. But for now, come on. Yeah, I'm just double checking it now. I want to make sure I don't have to use a whack of putty to. So that was as far as I wanted to go today. As I said before, if you're doing a lot of scratch building, there are two things I would recommend you have. You don't need them to do the hobby, but they make your life so much easier. I would suggest that a good 3D printer. If you're working at N scale, I would suggest a resin printer, because things are small and resin printers do a better job with really small stuff. And a laser cutter of some kind or another. And diode lasers are reasonably inexpensive, about as expensive as a very good resin printer. And so it sure helps to have one. And otherwise, I'd be building it all out of styrene and scratch building tiny little buildings and air conditioners and stuff. Would be a real pain. Whoops. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to go to 1. There we are. There we are. So I say that's it for today. Next week we'll continue on. I have some ideas about how I'm going to decorate the outside of this building. But as I say, it all needs putty to dry and glue to dry before I can move on for that. So, as always, take care of yourself, take care of your family. Remember, it's your railroad and you can build it any way you want. And I'll see you next week with a new video. Bye for now.